Last time, Richard and I spent a couple of days outside Big Sky, Montana, before heading northwest towards Butte and a ghost town known as Garnet, and we had some trouble up there. The trouble started as we were moving towards the pass over into Butte and that side of the mountain. Once we got over the top of the mountain, the weather started clearing, or at least for a short enough time for us to get into town. While the weather was cleared, we stopped into my favorite brewery in Butte and even had a live stream while the weather held up. But it wasn't too long after we got there. The weather moved in and made us move inside. And even that didn't last long enough. But we got a chance to have a few beers and some delicious pizza before we decided that we needed to move on. So once the weather cleared, got back on the bikes and decided to head towards Missoula and whatever lay in store. Richard and I have a contest on. Since we had enough beers to probably make us a little bit sketchy ride, whoever drops their bike on the way out of town before we get on the interstate, whoever drops their bike first loses. Woo! So yeah, it's a little bit of a challenge, but it's also like, okay, let's be a little bit careful. Let's not run into anybody. A very quiet evening just below Garnet Ghost Town. Pretty cool little switchback on a very narrow dirt road, about 10 miles off the highway. Got this little fire going up there. Nobody knows we're here. At least nobody that we haven't told. So we got up the next morning and I think somewhat foolishly decided to pack up all our gear on the bikes and ride up the final leg to Garnet Ghost Town, not really knowing what was at the top of the hill. I think it would have been a much wiser decision to go scout out the hill first and then maybe come back and pack up all of our luggage. And I mean, it's an okay road up to about this point right here, which was the final pitch. But yeah, this turned out to be a really tricky spot, and I wanted to turn around, stop and wait for Richard at this corner and just make sure he was still on board, because yeah, it looked pretty nasty and I didn't know how nasty it was until I got in it. But I wanted to also make sure Richard didn't go bounce off the side of the hill here and me not see where he went. So but yeah, it came to this point and, you know, neither of us had our egos in check. I didn't really want to tell him this is a bad idea and turn around, and he didn't want to turn around and Yeah, and you can see I'm really struggling here. It's just trying to keep traction because I can't carry the momentum through all these holes, and it's pretty steep. It's really hard to tell, but it's a pretty steep climb. And I had decent tires, and I had a bike that's half the weight of Richard's before I started packing it. And you can see I'm still struggling. You know, I'm dabbing every few feet, trying to keep the bike upright, trying to keep the bike moving while all my bike and luggage was bouncing all over the damn hillside, and trying to keep it in the road. It's about this time I look back in my rear view and see Richard is down, and I'm thinking, oh man, I hope he's not hurt. So I just parked the bike here out of the way and walked back down and see if I can help him. And wound up discussing the plan at that point, and I figured it's probably just a bad idea. Since I'm already up, I want to go take a look at the ghost town. That was a nasty hill. I barely made it up and I already didn't, so I got Richard turned around. He's gonna wait for me while I go up and get some pictures. I hope that was the nastiest part, because if it gets worse than that, I'm probably going to bounce out in the woods. What's weird is those just don't look bad at all. Got some bumps, some big rocks. Yeah, what's funny is where I parked my bike and turned around and walked back down. That was the end of the roughest part of this hill. Of course, but yeah, once we got past that point, it was smooth sailing, and I felt bad that Richard didn't get to see it, but hopefully he'll get something out of the video that I shot. I was impressed at how big the town was and how well maintained it was. Apparently the BLM has got a budget to maintain a little part of mining history here, and I was also impressed at how many people were out here this early in the morning and how much traffic is coming up here typically. And you can see this would be a nice place to shoot a Western, I would think. I would like to come back out here, maybe with a little bit better tires. Oh, look, there goes a rabbit. And maybe a little bit less luggage. I got to figure out that whole luggage thing and see if I can get by with less crap on the back of my bike, because it really does impede some of the places that I would like to travel to, and this would definitely slow me down from wanting to come back to Garnet if I was this heavy with this little bit of suspension that I had. But you know, it's just a lighter load next time, and I'm probably next trip I'll probably have a lot less crap that I'm carrying. Be a lot more concerned about all the little doodads and trinkets that I feel like is going to make my journey more comfortable, more enjoyable. But yeah, so this is Garnet, and about this time I headed back down the hill to pick up Richard so we could head out to the rest of Montana and Idaho. So here's the roughest fuck part, and I'm just going to crawl down this damn thing because momentum is your enemy going down. Yeah, you don't really need momentum going down a steep grade like this. You just need slow, deliberate movements. Yeah, I guess this was the line right here, just kind of hard to stay on it. Yeah, it's pretty much the line, except the bouncy bounce, not good, and I'm bouncy bouncing quite a bit coming up this. Hard to stay in your line when you're fucking bouncing. I guess my boys already rolled on down the hill. That's where they left me right there. If both of us had our egos in check, we probably would have made the sensible choice and turned around. But I wanted to see the ghost town. I knew I was pretty close. So.
thought you'd be gone longer.
Yeah, it was not. I mean, it was nice. It was a lot bigger than I thought, but
just a place that was in the middle of nowhere.
No, it's fucking old houses. It's, you know, maybe turn of the century fucking houses. So it was cool. I got my video. It's cool. I thought I might fly my drone, but there was people there, and you know.
Camping up there or something? Or
well, there's a camper on the top of the hill. I don't know how the fuck they got up there.
I saw that camper.
Yeah.
Up there. Yeah.
But there was a family up there, and anyway, I was just blogging coming down the hill and thinking, well, saying, you know, if both of us had our egos in check, we probably would have seen that hill and said, man, no, that's kind of stupid. I'm not gonna get hurt, and I'm gonna drop my bike off the side of the cliff. And
that would mean cooler, smarter, and wiser minds prevailed.
Yeah.
No, there's no adventure in that.
But that's the problem. It's like, do you want to have an adventure? You know, you got to have a little bit of ego. I think that's the problem with everybody that's staying home watching us is like, that looks like fun, but man, I don't know. There's so many things that could go wrong. I think I'll just stay home here and with the remote.
You know, I figured out stuff like that happen. I giggle about it when it goes down. I mean, all you gotta do is back up, figure out a plan, and get out of it. But
yeah, but I think all day long that's a bad move. Could we have gotten up out of it? Sure, you got through 80% of the nasty stuff. Oh, and it's the top of the hill.
Got nice.
It's like fucking glass.
I kind of figured that
at
that point, but
yeah, there's a small creek running down the side, but it's just moistening the road. It's not really doing anything. And then you get up and hit the signs again with the BLM signs, and it's, you know, it's powdered brown, sandy kind of, I don't know what the hell, like a clay thing. It's nice. Looks like somebody just raked it this morning. Anyway, I got to see the ghost town. I know it's there now. It's no mystery really anymore, so. And you know, somebody's gonna enjoy what I saw, so.
I will.
Yeah, it was an eighth of a mile maybe from the top of the hill.
It was tougher for me coming down that stretch than it was going up.
I bet. And make no mistake, rolling down the rest of the hill was a little bit unnerving, just because I didn't want to pick that big Harley back up again. And you know, we're right on the edge. Almost every turn we're right on the edge of, you know, 20-foot, 40-foot fall, doing a lot of damage to the bikes. You know, just kind of riding right on the edge of what that machine will do, and you know, not too far from the edge of what my machine will do. But it was still great to watch Richard ride that big, basically a small two-wheeled car up and down this mountain, because you know, he knows how to ride a bike, and you know, that goes a long way, trusting your tires and your machine. But yeah, so we got back on the road towards Missoula, Montana, a lovely town, and we found a forest camping spot well above the city of Missoula. But that's coming up next time. It's a pretty cool episode, so you want to catch that, and see you then.